I don't know.
Mine's good, and all it is a metal cut with a metal spoon. But it
I
sounds.
don't know. I think it's just I'm gonna give up on the ding.
I mean,
Ding 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 ding
this sounds
ding.
great. Ding ding. Hey everybody.
All I have is like plastic. I need some metal. I need a good bell to ring. A
Well,
good ding.
you got a good start with that studio you guys are building right there.
Hey, thank you. It's our first live from the new studio, which is still under construction. We're getting there. Like I have no
Okay, it's a soft
monitors.
open then. This can't be the first official where Adam will
It's the
flip.
dress rehearsal.
This is dress rehearsal.
Yes, it's the dress
We
rehearsal.
don't want to take that from Adam. This is we don't want to take his first one, but it looks awesome. And okay, hot tip for everyone. Jason, is that a framed photo behind you?
No, it's actually a really cool frame that we're going to start utilizing in our lives and also our shows to either put up content like videos and stuff or photos, which is so fun. It's so fun.
It looks like a picture, but it's one of those fancy digital art things, TVs.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Love it. Love it.
It looks great. The signage looks great. The colors are
hey,
great.
thank you. You know, you got
good colors and stuff. So
thank you. I appreciate that. It's been, guys. So for all of you who don't know, who are just joining us while we get people in the room here, by the way, thank you guys for being here. You guys have made Anchor Watch such a freaking success. It's our #1 listened to podcast on our podcast. It is fastly becoming our one of our best lives. So that's awesome too. We love having you guys here at Anchor Watch. But now oh gosh, I'm just so tired because we just moved. For any of you guys who don't know,
and your guys' movers didn't show up. So
and yeah, and then our movers didn't show up, so it got delayed for all good reasons. Everything worked out. We are grateful and just really grateful for everyone here too. Also, I'm missing monitors, so if I don't catch your comments tonight, guys, I apologize. But as always, we appreciate you guys being here, and we do have an episode to talk about. But there is a big show premiering on Bravo next week. I'm not going to say which day because there are many premieres happening next week, but you guys need to look out for Up and Adam on that. Actually, Adam is leaving for LA this weekend. It'll be a lot of fun. So that on top of the move has been just exhausting.
We can't spill the beans.
Not yet. Maybe we can. I don't know. Like I feel like our Anchor Watch crew always gets the what's coming
guys,
first.
Here's what we'll do. Follow at Jason Barrett on Twitter. Follow at SeeJoshGo on Twitter. We're gonna bug Adam and see if we can announce it, at least on Twitter. That would be fun.
Let's put it this way. We'll be talking about it next week at Anchor Watch.
Okay.
Same night. Okay. So I think
okay.
Guys, welcome back to Anchor Watch, our weekly Below Deck chat, where we take over Up and Adam's channel to talk about the #1 rated show on Bravo, Below Deck. Josh, I'm happy that we're here tonight because I almost was not going to make it. But then I watched the episode and I was like, oh, we got to make this. We got to do this.
Okay, so there's a lot of drama this season, which as annoying as it could be, it also is such good TV. So yeah, we have to come on and talk. Like that's the thing that with you guys moving and stuff, I'll be honest, I kind of wanted to like take the excuse and go, hey Jason, why don't we take the week off? You and Adam need to get the studio set up. I could use a night of rest, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, same as you, watch the episode. And I was like, damn it, we got to go talk about it.
We can't just leave it hanging. We got to talk about it. Like, it's funny because I love talking with everyone in the live chat as well. And then, of course, the people listening on the podcast, you guys always give me your feedback as well. But it's just like, I really enjoy just coming on and talking about it with you because you're the only person I think I can talk to about it. Like, Adam doesn't watch Below Deck. So
but he's one of the few people who watches Bravo that doesn't watch Below Deck because, again, the ratings came in #1. And they keep going up. This show, say there's some, Jason and I love Captain Sandy. There's some haters out there. Say what you want. She's bringing in the ratings. Like this is some of the highest ratings the show.
I want to start with that really quick, actually, because, like Captain Sandy is getting, of course, still the backlash of being a micromanager. And I really do kind of want to tell people, please go watch Below Deck Down Under. Please go watch Below Deck Adventure. Captain Carrie, Captain Jason are very I want to change the word from micromanagey or micromanager or whatever to hands-on. They're just hands-on captains. It's not everyone's style. Captain Lee doesn't have a very hands-on approach. He has a demeanor where you really, really, and a presence where you just don't want to piss him off. You don't want to do wrong. And if you do, he's going to like put the hammer down and someone's going to go home. But when you're in charge of the vessel, you need to see everything happening.
So can we take this as a life lesson for all of us that first impressions are really hard to shake? And so let's not forget that, folks. Like, look at some of you guys are like, I know there are some people who watch the show. They write in the comments. They watch because they have a great time with the live. They like the chat afterwards and the comments and stuff like that. Like, you guys are part of the Naughty Yachties. But the funny thing is some people are not watching this season. They still participate in our show, but they won't watch the season because they don't like Captain Sandy that much. And I'm like, I bet if you watched, you would actually like her a lot. Like, the things you're complaining about, she has grown from. So again, that just shows like first impressions stick around. So
let me tell you, there was something that she said, that Captain Sandy said during this episode, and I know it. Oh, here we go. She said, "Feedback makes you better." So I feel like somewhere along the way, she received her feedback, her constructive criticism, whether it was from social media or she heard someone talking about how she's a micromanager. I know she got a lot of flack for letting Hannah go, which I think was also a production call. But yeah, I think it does make you better, and I could not agree more. So she took the feedback, she took the constructive criticism, and that was good. Now, I wanted to ask Josh what you're thinking about Alyssa right now, because Alyssa is our second stew who we just lost Camille, unfortunately. We just lost Camille. But there is still a new cast member to come in this season, and it is not Tyler, who we received this episode. And like you said, Josh, first impressions are everything. And Tyler gave us all kinds of great first impressions, great energy, but we'll talk about him in a second. But there is someone still to come in.
Well, so here's
do you think Alyssa's next?
Some people are like saying, is it Fraser? And I was like, please not let it be him. Like, obviously you and I think our show as a whole, our Naughty Yachties and everyone, we're pretty pro Fraser.
Yes.
So that would be a real bummer to see him leave. I was actually tweeting about that today, and I got a lot of responses from that particular tweet. But something else too is I did comment on another tweet, which has also got a lot of like engagement, and people are saying like, basically she's making it hard to like her right now. Like, I was on her side, but then like she's turning out to be the not likable person that a lot of people have been saying. A lot of people have been saying,
yes.
Yeah. And I kept making excuses. And when Camille was around, it was easier to kind of shield her and go, hey, it's not Alyssa. It's, she's putting up with this, blah, 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 blah. And then, yeah, it's so hard right now to like her.
Yeah, I did a poll, and I know, same. I did a poll in the live chat, and I said, is Alyssa next to walk the plank? And 67% of you guys think she is. And we are watching, like someone just said in the comments, kind of her spiral. And it's crazy to see, because I feel like what she really wanted was for Camille to be gone. Now that Camille is gone and everyone's stepping up to the plate to try to have a good service with this new charter, they're realizing that they're kind of short. Now, Camille wasn't the right person. Camille got let go by herself. Alyssa didn't have a lot to do with that.
Despite what Ben thinks.
This is not Alyssa's fault.
No.
I mean, yes, did she carry on that little yelling fit in front of the charter guest a little too long? Of course. In a second stew, she shouldn't be doing that. But Camille walked herself off the plank. Like, literally, she walked herself off the plank.
Yeah.
No one holding that hand.
No, and so that's one thing. Like, we gain or lose our own jobs. It takes a lot. it would be a monumental task for somebody to actually get you fired when you didn't deserve it. Like that's just not real. It happens in movies, it happens in made up stories.
The
As much as reality
Apprentice.
TV, as much as reality TV is kind of a made up story, but it's based off reality. So it's really hard for someone to actually get you fired when you don't deserve it. Um, Especially when multiple managers are having the opportunity to work with her and everyone's fighting over who gets to not work with her. That's not a good spot to be. Yeah, she
Camille
did it
has
to herself.
probably been the only one to ever do that, and I have to say thank you, Camille, for a great start to this season because she
Yeah.
was probably everything everyone was talking about. I am starting to know to see things about Alyssa though that I'm like not sure, and it has me questioning like her insecurity about this whole situation. You know, she's still thinking about Camille. Camille's not there, living rent free in her head. Like, girl, forget about Camille. Camille is gone. Even when Camille shows up later at dinner, it's like, don't even acknowledge it if that's something you don't want to deal with. But then something else that I'm noticing is as a second stew, someone needs to show her how to open a bottle of champagne.
I still
That
think about when you told me it, and it's supposed to sound like an old lady farting or something.
Yeah, so there's a way to open a bottle of champagne. I was in the service industry as well, and just really quickly for anyone who wants to know, you open the wrapper, you put your thumb on top, you hold it, you turn it 6 times, you don't even have to look at it. 6 times, and then you slowly open it, holding the top with your thumb, and then it's supposed to sound like your grandmother's farting, like a little, you know? It's not supposed to pop, you're gonna ruin the bubbles. If you're at the club and you're spending a lot of money and you wanna shake it, I'm not gonna do that gesture again, sorry. You wanna shake it and have it pop and go
What would it look
everywhere,
like if you wanted to shake 2 bottles, Jason?
like this. I'm too tired for this shit tonight.
I know. But anyways, yeah, I think guys,
I'm like, Alyssa, come on, you're losing me here. You're talking about service and you're telling Camille what to do, and now we have a preview of going into next week's episode with you going after Haley and being that's a micromanager. You know what I mean? And if you're gonna be that here with your game needs to be on too. Learn to open a bottle of champagne. It's the easiest thing.
well, and at this point, from everything we've seen, if you're going after Haley, you've got some issues. I mean, she's super nice, super game for anything, a team player. There's literally nothing bad you could say about her and her work ethic, her service she provides and everything. So if you're having a problem with her and you had a problem with someone else, maybe it's you. Maybe it's you. And she's
The
also,
common denominator is now changing, it seems.
yes. Well, and let's not forget she's also having an issue with someone else. Our Miss Katie.
Miss Katie.
'Cause
And then it looks like next episode, Sandy, Haley. Now the new problem happens to be Alyssa, which is crazy.
I'll say this. I think there's some people out there who are going to say, oh, Captain Sandy didn't fire the right person. I still think getting rid of Camille was the right decision. She didn't want to work. She has a bad work ethic. She wanted to look cute and walk around a yacht, and be on television. That's what I think she wanted. But then she was like, oh, we really work? Like, we don't just pretend to work. And it's like, no, you're actually going to sweat a little. And she was like, oh, get me off of here. So she needed to go. But it seems like Alyssa's maybe lining herself to be up next. And the thing, we'll go back to what you were saying before about taking criticism, being open to getting feedback, that sort of thing. At the end of the charter, first of all, the guest gave some feedback to the crew and essentially like kind of pointed out their shortfallings, their shortcomings, whatever. They fell short in certain things. And they were, I thought, very nice about how they said it. Like,
Right.
hey, this was a little. And even Captain Sandy at their tip meeting was like, hey, they gave us good feedback. That's an opportunity for us to learn. If we didn't hear this stuff, we might be doing this more. So it's good we hear it so we can stop us. So she took feedback the way, wow, there's a lot of feedback given this show. And this episode here. Anyways, we'll talk more, but there's a lot of feedback given this episode, and we saw how different people take it.
Yes.
So Captain Sandy talked about that to the crew. Fraser, after they all break, he brings his team together and he's talking to the girls, and he's saying even like, hey, I had some shortcomings. There were, a lot of it was me. These are the things I want to focus on as a team. He wasn't really pointing fingers or even reprimanding the team. He was like even saying we're overworked, like blah, blah, blah. These are the things I want to focus on. And Alyssa's response was, I can't handle this. Not now. I can't take this. She stood up and basically like left, like told him, I can't handle this meeting. I can't listen to you right now. Which I thought was just very,
I can't do this.
mature. I can't do this.
And I don't understand. It wasn't about you. The thing that they all had to understand, Alyssa, Haley, even Fraser himself, is that you guys were short a person. This is a big boat. You have more people on board. It's going to happen. And you went into that charter knowing that. So also you now have help. I don't know. But listen, going back to what we were saying too about possibly losing another cast member or another crew member, Josh, it cannot be another Chief Stew. We cannot lose Fraser, like you said. We cannot do that. Fraser is here to stay. Kate Chastain needs to be officially replaced because it's taken so long to get a Chief Stew who can last. And now we have him with Kate Chastain's blessing, by the way, and Watch What Happens Live. She had all the praise for Fraser. So,
nice.
Yeah, we need to keep him. But you were talking about first impressions, and we did get a first impression of our new deck stew, Tyler, who he tweeted me back last night, actually. He said, I'm glad I made a good first impression. And he's just a great energy. He's a great energy. He's a good help. And I think right now the show needs him. And, well, everyone needs him.
The ship definitely needs him. The exterior, not as much. Like they've got, they seem set, but definitely that interior needs the help. I mean, I'm sure he'll be a huge help when it comes to like docking and leaving and stuff like that, where extra hands is always helpful. But for the most part, like the areas where they're really lacking right now, which is service at meal times, service throughout the day, just because there's maybe one person available. And as Haley saw, like his housekeeping skills were amazing. Like he's a guy who really gets into details. He's, he said he's very OCD and stuff.
Yes.
Perfect for a job like this,
Absolutely. Especially when you're in the service industry. Like I'm completely OCD. If something is off, like I go crazy. It's insane. And as I'm getting older, it's something I'm trying to work on. But it's like, do you remember when we were performing in the circus and like we used to watch ourselves after and you just critique everything you do and you want it to be perfect? It's like a gift, but it's also a curse at the same time. It's like, you got to just live life and let it go. But I understand Tyler. He gave us a good first impression, an impression. And I love how he says, like, people don't need to tell me what to do. They just need me, or they just need to tell me when to stop doing it. So he's a hard worker. He seems like he already kind of jives with the crew. He's kind of camouflaged with everyone. Like he can like blend with everyone, So I'm excited to see him in the rest of the season. I think it's a good casting call, Below Deck. Bravo. Good casting call.
Yeah, he seemed he's a very gentle soul. He seems very gentle. That boat can use someone gentle right now. I feel like we've got a bunch of energy drinks walking around, and it's okay if there's a cup of green tea. You know what I mean? Like, I like this. It's some nuance. It's a different flavor. It's a different spice. Not everything has to be,
a bunch of energy drinks. Josh,
yeah.
I can't deal with that.
Yeah, we don't need a bunch of monsters walking around. Monsters and rock stars, and all just trying to be extreme. Calm the hell down.
And we have some Red Bulls like Ross, running around like crazy. I mean, I'm gonna come back to some Rachel stuff, but I wanted to jump in. Oh, and also we'll get back to it. Ross in this rooming situation with Katie, which Katie is like really pushing at the beginning of the episode. She's loving this idea of rooming with Ross. I mean, obviously, it's a little quick, because remember how we say this show all happens within a span of like 6 weeks, right? So all of the relationships you're seeing, the Bens and Camille's, the Katie's and Ross's, the potential Alyssa and Ross, this happens so fast. So to want to jump in and just live with somebody, not just live with someone like, oh, we share an apartment, like a 2-bedroom apartment, we each have our own room. You literally sleep on top of each other. Literally.
Yeah.
I don't understand why she thinks this is a good idea.
Well, she's super young. He's older. She hasn't figured out, unfortunately, yet that the guy's a waste of time and a super creep. When we watch the show the whole time, my wife is just constantly is just like, oh God. Natalie like can't stand the guy. She's like, but I think it's one of those things where a younger, more inexperienced person goes, oh, this guy's cool, blah, blah, blah. But it's like his peers go, no, this is the guy who never knew when the party ended. We talk about this a lot, actually, you and I, because of our personal lives. Like, we have a lot of friends who don't know when the party should have stopped and they keep going. And it's like, it goes from being cool guy to pathetic guy, like within a matter of like a couple birthdays, you know? And old Ross here, he's just a stumbling drunk fool. I think I called him a stumbling drunk fool on my my Twitter feed, but it's just
it's crazy because like you said, like it only takes a few times and to be with someone who acts like that. Like Katie, you can see her as the episode progresses and we're out, you know, one of the first crew nights out. When that progresses and his drunkenness starts getting more and more, it's hard for her to enjoy herself, you know, because she's worrying about him or what he might do. And that's a situation you just don't want to get in. Like Ross is definitely an alcoholic. I don't like calling people that or saying that to people, but dude, it's bad. It's bad. Like a couple of drinks or a drink like here and there, but when you go all the way there, there's some underlying issues that maybe you should work. I mean, that's not my thing to say to tell anyone, but it just feels kind of, you know.
Well, he also reminds me of one of those dogs that's always humping, and you just
why? What is with the analogies tonight?
You know that dog. We all have that friend that have that stupid dog that you go over there and it's always humping a pillow, humping a leg, humping anything, and you're just like, Jesus, that's Ross. This guy is like, he can't help himself. I mean, and then as soon as he gets like, you know, alcohol just hits his lips, he's like, I'm gonna have them all. And
it's crazy. And then like Katie becomes the owner of that dog who's like, oh no, it's okay, he's cute, right? And you're like, this isn't cute. This isn't.
Well, she's finally, it seems like she's finally at her wit's end.
I mean, she is a smart girl. She's also someone I'm really enjoying on the show. Well,
she's a smart girl.
Mean, listen.
Hey, listen, she's been through this and she keeps like reaccepting him.
Well, how many charters did it take her to figure out that he's a, what do they call it? An F boy?
Yeah.
There you go.
He can't believe you just said that. He can't believe you just said that.
All right. I really like Fraser. There is some stuff I can see why people are kind of going at him a little bit as far as like managing his team, managing what he needs to do. Obviously, he was stuck in a really hard position with being on this bigger boat, the biggest one we've ever seen on below deck, short a stew or short someone to help out, having Alyssa deal with whatever Alyssa is dealing with. But he's always like kind of in a rush in front of guests. And I think he has just a lot of anxiety right now, but it's kind of showing even to Rachel, because Rachel and Captain Sandy go out for coffee because Captain Sandy gave her some constructive criticism about maybe not doing around the world tastings or 8-course meals, 7-course meals, 16-course meals, you know, like
slow churning your own butter. Yeah.
But what I find about Rachel this season is she isn't the Ross kind of stereotype she was 2 seasons ago when she was jumping on stage singing with the band and she's like, you know this song, play it. You remember that episode?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure she would like us all to forget it. And you know, she even made reference to it this episode, which was, it was neat to hear her be like, yeah, I can't throw stones. Those in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. So I can't say much bad about Ross, but he's drinking too much. But yeah, this is this was the moment that popped in my head when earlier I was saying there was a lot of feedback and critique given this episode, and it was all interesting to see how different people took it. Chef Rachel, she took it admirably. She took it as, hey, Captain Sandy's telling me this because she wants me to be better. Like, she's looking out for me. She wants me to be the best me I can be. And she was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. Or thanks for that. I will try. Like, I don't know. I just thought it was, she took the feedback the way I hope I take the feedback every time feedback's given.
I like that. I mean, I have to agree. I mean, I think what's happening, this is just kind of my perspective on it, is she is trying to outdo herself. She's a very talented chef. I felt like maybe a few times she's had some bad moments, whether it's those days off and stuff like that, or telling Captain Lee to eat my cooter, stuff like that. She's kind of competing with herself and she's trying to one up herself as far as, her job is concerned. And she's doing a really good job at it. But at the same time, she's forgetting, I'm on a yacht. These people just want to eat whatever. But she's taking that constructive criticism from Sandy, like, find the balance. Where is the balance? You don't have to be like doing all that. Take them around the world in like 2 or 3 courses, a Caesar salad, pizza. I don't freaking know. People just want to eat on these yachts. But she was pointing out that some of the cohesiveness with the interior team and the communication is not really happening. She even at one point, sorry, I was laughing my ass off last night. It's not funny, but Rachel was comparing Frasier to Beaker from the Muppets. It's just, I was dying.
Oh, that was muted. Please tell me you have that photo.
No.
Oh, dang it. I thought surely, you know what? I'm giving you a pass. You've been moving all weekend. Like, I get it. But you got to get that screen cap later.
Yes. It should have been on the thumbnail, but that, we're so team Fraser. I don't even want to bring that up. I just thought it was kind of funny the way she did that. But I kind of see where it just seems like Fraser, like I said, he was rushing in front of guests, which in hospitality is, I get he has a lot on his mind and he is very busy and you can tell. In fact, everyone can tell. The guests can tell. Rachel can tell. Sandy can tell. Alyssa feels like maybe she doesn't have a reliable leader and that's why she's taking it all in. I don't know. Yeah. I'm wondering how that's going to progress as we see that kind of in the preview of episodes to come of Sandy and Fraser not really understanding each other.
He talks back. Let's just call it like it is. He starts speaking up, and there is a time, I mean, maritime law. So it's got to do what the general says, sort of thing, and zip it. There's a time and place to have these discussions. And when everyone's tired and in the middle of some service or something, that ain't the time. And it looks like that's maybe when he's choosing to talk back at Sandy or whatever. They definitely, all the teasers, all full of drama. This season is looking like we're still getting more of what we've been loving, which is just a mess. So
complete mess. We love it.
It's funny though. It's like they're in a way like they're super competent and stuff, but I guess it's more, although not super competent, they're having trouble with the size of the. Yeah, I still think they needed like a couple extra crew members. It's that big. It's just they're having trouble covering distances with all this. But the funny thing is they're still in some ways I go, they're really good at their job. And then on the other hand, I go, man, they are just a dumpster fire, like internal. I don't know. It's a good mix. It's a good mix. So
a complete dumpster fire. A complete dumpster fire. In fact, going back to this. Oh, let's stay on Rachel and Sandy really quickly, though, because I thought that this was a really rare moment and a fun moment to see the captain and the chef, 2 women in the industry, go out and talk about the job. Like, it was kind of empowering, right? I mean, I thought so. I'm not a woman in the industry. I'm not in the industry, and nor am I a woman. But it was kind of nice to see Sandy give her some advice and And it looks like Rachel is open to the constructive criticism. She's open to hearing from another woman. She's open to Captain Sandy's style of managing.
Well, I tweeted, who didn't love coffee talk with Captain Sandy and Chef Rachel? And Captain Sandy, she liked it. So apparently she appreciates my tweet.
Your tweets.
My tweets.
My tweets. I love my
Captain
tweets.
Sandy's my tweet friend, and she liked my tweets. I'll give you all the deets on my tweets, folks. Come on down.
Good Lord.
We're
Good
both
Lord.
tired.
Listen, speaking of Twitter, yeah.
Talk about
girl,
hot mess.
listen.
That's us. That's us right now.
We are hot. We're hot. We're hot. I don't even know. We're not hot. We're just messy.
My poll, ladies and gentlemen.
Your poll. This was the biggest thing in the night, too. It's like when Camille left, we never thought we would see her again. And yet she graces us with her presence once again. And you tweeted, Ben inviting Camille to dinner as a poll.
Yes.
No. Not a great decision because 77% of people said it was not a good idea. And no, it wasn't. It was not. Or maybe it was. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the kind of confrontation and the kind of uncomfortableness it gave like other people. Camille didn't give two shits. I really wish Alyssa would not give two shits about Camille, but she really has it ingrained in her head that she needs to like care so much.
You know what, Jason? I think I'm maturing as a reality TV show viewer.
Okay. Can you explain why?
I'll explain. Please allow me to elaborate. No, in the past, I would have been like, she's the worst, get her off, blah, blah, blah. Now I realize I appreciate it because it's entertaining. And so I'm maturing and I realize, oh, I actually kind of like her. I mean, I don't like her, but I like her. You know what I mean? Like on the show.
I don't like her, but I love her. It's crazy because it's like,
well, I want to hang out with her. No, would I want to?
Like, do we want to watch a show of just like everyone doing really good at their job? I mean, that would be interesting too. You just can't find
it. It would be on PBS. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Like, you have like some people are really good at their jobs, some people are just like messes, and then you have your Camille, which takes mess to another level. And yeah, I mean, she definitely has a career.
The Titanic was a movie of a love story set in a disaster. It wouldn't have been fun if those two just slowly cruised across the Atlantic, right? So we need icebergs like Camille just slamming into the boat.
I can't with you tonight. Your analogies, man. I thought Fraser needed that moment with Camille because he really was kind of like really flustered letting her go, like hiding in the closet. Everyone was like, oh my God, she's being fired. You know, this is happening. And Fraser's like, I had to let someone go. This is my, I'm a new chief stew and things are already falling apart. But I don't know. Fraser's going to have a lot to deal with Alyssa because Alyssa is playing with fire right now with Ross. Katie is obviously like head over heels for Ross, probably just for another episode. But Alyssa likes to flirt with Ross. And I know, listen, we get an edit of what's filmed, right? So we don't see all the time Ross flirting with Alyssa, or as Alyssa, what am I doing tonight? As Alyssa described it, when no one's looking, he's like grabbing her and always flirting with her. I mean, we haven't seen it as far as like editing or filming or whatever it is goes, but man, she is going so against girl code, so much so that everyone on Watch What Happens Live was saying that. Kate Chastain was like, this is girl code, like this is a no-no. Like, why would you do that?
Do you live within the girl code, Jason?
Sometimes I like some girl code. Where it's like, hey girl. Hey girl code. Or girl code. But I think this is girl code. It's only for the girls. And this one in particular is kind of like, you know what you're doing and you're doing it, but why would you do that? Like, Katie hasn't been mean to you. Katie hasn't done anything to you. Just stay away from the fire. Don't put your hand in.
Yeah, there's some really rotten people hiding right under the surface, and all it takes is like a couple, you know, Spike Shirley Temples to let them loose. Hey, by the way, one thing I noticed, so the kind of this maturity thing where it's like, Katie, the whole audience is watching this and going, "What are you doing with this Ross guy?" Same thing with the Ben and Camille thing for a sec. Can we just say she has
Yeah.
no problem going like, "Oh, I'm gonna totally miss you. It's been a lot of fun," and then she just hops in a car and just jets off.
She's like,
Meanwhile,
bye.
yeah, and Ben's like weeping all over the boat, as I love chatting about last episode where I think he clocked in at a full 8 hours straight of crying. And then this episode, he was just like, I really feel something magical. And then she's like, meep, meep. And he's just like, yeah, man, I love the way she leaves me in the dust. I think there's something special there. It's like, dude,
He's like head of, he's
get a
also
clue.
like, yes. Yeah,
Get
you're
a
being
clue. She does
you're
not.
being worked.
She's just not that into you, you know?
You're on fire tonight. You're on fire.
Slightly delirious and a whole lot of stupid. That's why.
Yes. I mean, that's what's happening. By the way, like, listen, we were in the circus and you know, I've enjoyed a good drink in my day and we worked with a whole bunch of Russians and you know what that's like, especially with the vodka, but damn, these yachties can drink.
Pre-Ukrainian war.
Pre-Ukrainian war. But these yachties can like, it's like I think you can drink all the Russian acrobats under the bus. It's like kind of I don't want to say impressive because it's not healthy, but they can drink, and I mean drink. Like no boats, no pythons, no swimming in the ocean can take that drinking away.
Wait. Who are you saying can drink on this boat?
Everybody.
No, but I'm saying on this season, this yacht.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just watching their day off. I mean, these two can't drink to save their lives. Let's
No, I'm just saying, yeah, they physically drink, but they can't drink. None of these once I don't know. Look at that face.
It's a photo of someone who can't drink.
Ugh.
Or shouldn't be drinking. But
horrible
with Alyssa flirting with Ross, though, it's like, how many drinks did you have, first of all? Because he's a mess. And then with him saying that he's bad, and she said something like, what did I write this down? Oh, I know you're fucking bad. And I was like, what are you doing? You look like pathetic at this point, proving herself to be just as trashy.
And he obviously likes the hunt because he's got this really cute girl. Like, she's beautiful, Katie. And like, she's into him. She's like, we can go do stuff. And I think most people would be like, this is awesome. And except like, he just totally forgets that she's alive whenever he starts drinking. That's really odd. I don't know.
Listen, when Tyler is the new one on the ship and he's saying, you know, I'm 23 and I have a better moral compass than Ross at 38. That's like telling you something. It really is. But I mean, listen, I think Alyssa is going to keep these ratings alive as a replacement for Camille. But I have a feeling, and I actually don't know this. I usually know what's coming up on Below Deck. Like we knew about Captain Lee way before we knew about I want to take this. Judy, thank you so much for the super chat. We really appreciate that. Honestly.
Anchors away.
Anchors away, Judy.
Here,
thank you.
I'll give her a ding.
Thank you, Judy.
Get that out of here.
Yeah, whatever.
Pathetic.
Thank you, Judy. We appreciate it.
That's sweet.
But yeah, I don't know what I was talking about because I'm not tired.
Okay, I want to take a moment because we haven't asked yet, folks. The best way you could tip us is by hitting the like button. It sucks that we have to ask for this, but I'm telling you guys, like, it helps so much. You guys have really pushed us up in the algorithm, and I think it's 100% because of your engagement with the show.
Absolutely.
So yeah, thank you guys. For those of you who hit the like button, like, you guys we super appreciate it. And remember, just like the crew, we split it 2 ways. So we're only getting half those likes because Jason
and sometimes I get greedy and I like to take some of the likes.
Yeah. So he actually takes
Josh some likes.
more than his share. So yeah. So thank you guys if you get the like button. Thank you very much. Also, for those of you guys in the replay crew, or if you're listening to the podcast and you're like want to communicate with us, one of the ways you can do it that gets to me directly too, so I can communicate with you, Twitter or the comment section on YouTube. I always go in all week long. I try to go multiple days and like check the feed and respond to you guys. I love doing it. It's a lot of fun.
It's such a great conversation too. Like I see
Yeah.
comments and I'm like, "Oh my god, I didn't think about that." And not necessarily you guys agree with us all the time too, which is great because I'm like, "Wait, let me watch it differently or let me like see what you're talking about next time."
Yeah. It's I don't mind that you guys disagree. I actually like it. That's what's interesting. That's why we watch this stuff. That's why we talk about it. I want to hear different opinions. Um, and I try to take your feedback as good as Chef Rachel does. So Jason and I both, we've actually tweaked things because of things you guys have mentioned, like stop being so
Absolutely.
handsome, stop being so funny.
We try, but we can't always succeed in those kind of things.
Hey,
Um,
we have gotten better at our pronunciation of Fraser.
Razor,
Yeah. So
you're
we worked with
welcome.
that thanks to the comments. So thank you.
Yes, this is true, and yeah, yep, and I kept going and saying Frasier, Frasier until someone reminded me again. Listen, I gotta ask you what you're looking forward to next episode before we wrap up here because there's a lot coming up in a short period of time.
I think in the short term, there's kind of two things I'm interested in. Obviously, Alyssa, what is going on with Alyssa? I'm hoping she's super tired. This is kind of residual from the whole Camille stuff. In my heart of hearts, I would love if she gets some rest, turns it around, and goes, "Okay, I'm back. We have help now. Let's do this." That's in a perfect world. Also, there probably wouldn't be good television. So I hope she goes crazy. I hope she stabs someone with a fork and she gets marched off the boat. Now, the other thing I'm super excited about is Tyler. I want to see how Tyler does with the crew. I want to see because this is one thing. The fact that dinner time he's already feeling comfortable enough to say things like, "I'm 23 or whatever, and I've got better moral compass than this guy," and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, so not too afraid to hold back on our first day, first like,
No,
so
you
Tyler
that's what
might
I was saying
bring
about, like, being
that.
camouflaged. He kinda just jumps right in. Like,
Yeah,
it's like he's been there the whole time. It's weird.
yeah, Tyler might bring some stuff. Yeah, doesn't it feel like he's just right in with the crew? We're not ramping up. It's like, I don't know, he felt really comfortable. So
I mean,
I
comfortable
wonder,
enough to be completely naked jumping off a boat. I mean, he's
that,
already there. He's already there. Yeah, that's I'm really curious to see how this Alyssa thing goes because I mean, what she says, you're a gross dirty bitch to Haley behind her back. She says she's shit talking Captain Sandy behind her back, but then Captain Sandy hears it. We're seeing a whole different side of Alyssa I didn't think we would see. I honestly like this is a 180 from what I thought would happen after Camille left with Alyssa.
hey, one thing I wanted to clarify real quick, Jason, this is a little tangent here, but speaking of feedback from people, a couple people asked on Twitter, and a couple of people actually wrote in the comments. You had mentioned in previous weeks that you had heard Captain Lee, this is his final season.
Yes. So
Now,
and people were confused with
some people thought you said he was fired or something like that. So I just wanted to clarify because I know that is not what you said. And also, we don't want it out there that we're going around saying he got fired. You just heard a rumor that possibly for health reasons, this might be his last season.
yes. So I'm pretty for sure they have already okay, so right now they're about to start filming the next season. Okay. So you have that happening. Um and I'm 99.99999% that there's a new captain coming in. So I'm pretty much 100% sure that Captain Lee is not returning to the show. Um but he's had a decade of a good run and he has built this franchise. Like that's awesome. You know, but he is coming back this season.
Yes.
Absolutely. And he's going to get to finish in his grand old way. But I don't see him coming back for many reasons, but nothing being fired. I think I don't want to say anything because I've heard a lot of things from very credible people and very credible sources, but I don't know if it's for health reasons, but it's definitely on his decision. It's
And
not
let's
he's going to get fired.
look at some of the greatest shows of all time. To do 10 seasons and be successful is such a huge deal. Not many people get to do 10 seasons of any show. So the fact he's did that, mega accomplishment. And because of this show, he started this whole thing. This is now a franchise. It's not just the show, it's a franchise that has multiple shows now because of the success of this.
Yes.
So when he leaves, if it is the end of the season or whenever he chooses to leave, he is definitely going out a victor. He's going out a hero.
Oh, 100%. And
yeah,
if some reason he thinks, I mean, listen, I'm just pretty sure that I'm pretty sure I know who's going to replace him. So that's where I kind of think he's not coming back. And it's not going to be anyone we know. It's going to be new. Because I think to replace
Captain Josh,
who they call Captain, yes, Josh will be driving the boat into docks near you coming soon. All right. So
hey guys, whoa.
We'll throw the things on the side. Do something.
It'll be a one episode. It'll be a
damn
one
it, Camille.
Episode.
It's your fault. You're fired. You're done.
Yeah, they're giving me all the worst crew members, no experience driving a yacht, and we're going out to the deep sea.
Speaking of other Below Deck franchises, though, if you guys, tonight was the season finale of Below Deck Adventure, which had its very first season with Captain Carey, who is one of our neighbors, and also an amazing guy, amazing captain, and he really carried this show. I think he's fantastic. But we don't cover Below Deck Adventure. But if you want any Below Deck Adventure coverage, you check out Gangplank. Thank you. There we go. Gangplank Report with Jen Bennington and Adrian Gang. Adrian, who was the first chief stew on Below Deck, who was never a chief stew before. She was always a chef, which is interesting. But I would love to see kind of a show of like Below Deck people who didn't work out all on the same boat. And can you imagine just giving it to Captain Sean, like a very capable captain, and just being like, here you go.
Below Deck, the cruise to hell.
That's a great title.
And
bring all the worst charter guests back from anything.
Or the charter guests are just things like badgers they let loose on the ship. All right, folks, we're getting weird.
And then we're getting weird. We're tired. It's late. But we do appreciate you guys being here. And Dub, thank you so much for the super chat. We need some members only emojis for Anchor Watch. Done and done. Absolutely. And I'm thinking next week, guys, if you are a member of Up and Adam, we have some big news, not only for what Adam is doing next week, but for our podcast. A lot of changes. I'm going to go ahead and I'll say the name is changing, the branding is changing. And that's because of a lot of growth and a lot of great things happening and a lot of co-hosts coming on to the podcast as well. Amy Seeks Truth, thank you so much for the super sticker. We appreciate you.
Thank you. That was super sweet. I love the fact that your guys' problem is that you have to make room for growth. That's a great problem to have. And it's a testament to everybody who's watching and tuning in, and those of you guys who are subscribed to the podcast. Jason and I are also figuring out, we are working on a second show. So that is something else that is in response to the comments, in response to the tweets and stuff. You guys have been super sweet. So we definitely think there's an interest there from what you guys have said. So we're working on some ideas, but we want to do something that keeps this same vibe that we have and kind of the same party atmosphere. So stand by. We're working on a couple formats that we want to do something that also gives us room to discuss a lot of things for you guys, because I think it's a lot of fun, and it's fun getting you guys in the chat room.
I know it's so fun.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a whole different chat room for just this live, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Where are we wrapping?
Josh? Yeah, we're wrapping.
Go get some rest. The studio's not done yet. I can't wait to see it fully done. I'm also really excited to see you guys integrate the the screen in the background stuff, start doing stuff with images and
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That'll
And we're gonna
be
be in this same room. Adam and I will be in the same place recording sometimes, which is gonna be so fun.
and it's a permanent studio. I don't think people realize, like, you guys bought a house with extra room to devote an entire room just to the studio, to different setups, that you can leave the lights set up permanently. You can set, set everything
It's
up.
a flip of a switch, and that is just the nicest thing. I have to say that I really have it's crazy because you and I moved so much, when we used to be on tour, and we would hit, like, 10 cities a year at sometimes, and just it was always like that, and this is permanent, so it's weird, but, I do have to say it's very nice, and I have, a lot of compassion for people who are building homes. So we've been building this for 9 months, and it's been a lot of trial and error. So, I'm loving
Um,
these comments, by the way.
yeah, I'm trying to grab some up and put them up. Uh,
This is the best crew. Like,
yeah. Yeah. For those of you guys who are listening audio, we love you, but there is some extra stuff you're missing.
On the
Test chat.
YouTube.
Yeah, on the video. So if you guys you can always tune in there and get like a second show. Also, watch it. You have an option to watch it with the live chat in the same time that people were chatting. When I go back and watch our show sometimes to remember certain things we talked about, I always have to have the live chat because that also helps me remember, oh, this is what we're talking about. This is what people were thinking. And then, yeah, anyways.
Yeah, no, and once we get our monitors back, because I usually your comments are popping up in front of my face.
Yeah,
and
Jason doesn't have a big monitor right now. They're not fully
No.
set up.
It's not about the size of the monitor. It's just where I'm looking.
Here we
You know?
go.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us for another Anchor Watch. We appreciate you guys being here. Make sure you comment below. Let us know what you're looking forward to seeing next episode, because I'm definitely looking to see people hear what Alyssa has to say behind people's backs. Oh, God, it makes me so uncomfortable thinking about it. I'm so excited to see Katie figure out that Ross is actually I can't say it, an F boy.
Monster.
A monster, an energy drink. He's the worst kind of energy drink you can get. All right, guys, have a great night. Josh, thank you as always. Thank you to our mods.
Thank you,
everybody
mod.
in the chat. We appreciate you guys. Good night.
Ding,
Bye.
ding.
Ding, ding, ding.